Okay, hopefully this is the last part, Super Bowl 50. We got the third and goal for Denver up 16-10. This is after the Von Miller caused fumble and Denver's got it now. Third and goal up 16-10. I got cut off. The thing just went. I accidentally turned it off. Whatever, something happened. And there's 3:17 left here. And as I mentioned, both Kubiak and I heard Phil Simms say he's going to run the ball 3 times here, kick the field goal, and they'll be up 2 scores. Right? 16-10 to a field goal makes it 19-10. Why put the ball in the air at this point? An interception or if Manning gets sacked and he fumbles is devastating. Then it would be within 1 score. But if they just run it and kick a field goal, 19-10 with 3:17 is pretty much the ball game. So let's see what Peyton Manning did. Let's see. Let's see. And he moved up to the line out of the shotgun. Here we go. There's a hand. Oh, he's passing it. Again, I would say again, if this had been picked off or if he would have been sacked in a fumble, that would be one of the biggest blunders in Super Bowl history. The two biggest blunders last year, Belichick not calling timeout in the last minute of that game, and Darrell Bevell calling for a pass when he had 3 opportunities to run, and that's right, 3. Those were 2 biggest blunders in Super Bowl history. This would have gone down with them because it's forgotten because it didn't turn out too bad. Simms does say here that he threw it away once he saw it covered, but he got a flag out of it, and he's going to get a first down. But why is he why take the chance here? All right, I'll throw it away. Yeah, I'll throw it away if it's covered, but then you're not making Carolina use up a timeout. There's not that much of a need for a touchdown here. 19-10, 24-10, not much. That's not much of a difference. A little bit of a ticky-tack foul here.
That was not a catchable ball.
Doesn't matter if it was catchable. They called holding.
You know if it was holding, it doesn't matter.
Right.
And really a good call, Gary. Peyton Manning knew if it wasn't wide open, he was going to throw it.
Yeah, that's what Simms said if he was going to throw it out. But again, why even throw the ball? That is a blunder. And now it fittingly ends with even Luke Kuechly holding on, trying to hold on. Davis come over, and both of them can't hold C.J. Anderson out of the end zone. It's a touchdown. A fitting ending. But there's a little bit more that we'll go to. But wait, let me just show the replay to show that Kuechly and Davis can't hold them out of the end zone.
With 3:08 remaining, Anderson not to be denied.
Here we go.
Watch number 59.
Kuechly has him right there. Kuechly doesn't usually let him get pushed 2 more yards. And he's leaning. Oh, and here comes even Davis. Couldn't keep him out. Davis came over. Touchdown. Let's watch the 2-point conversion. The last throw in Peyton Manning's career. Oh, they called timeout? Don't tell me they called timeout here. Oh, they have to review to make sure he was in. By the way, they confirmed this. I don't know how they confirmed this. He should have stands as called, not confirmed. There was no way you could tell whether his ankle was down. Confirmed. Wow. That's hard to tell because his ankle may have been down. The heel, right, the ankle, right, may have been down before that ball was in. But anyway, it was certainly hard to tell. Touchdown, 22-10. Here it is. We get to watch Peyton Manning's last throw. A beauty, a classic. To Fowler, 24-10. Pause it. Still a slight chance. Let's watch some of the action right after. You can get 2 touchdowns in 3 minutes. Fires it in there. He's got to do anything now. He's forcing it in there. Incomplete. 2nd and 10. 3 minutes left. He spins away from 1. But there's the Ware for the sack. Was that 7th sack? Ware's got about 3 of them himself. And lost count. And now they're down. By the way, clock running it all this time.
Getting to taste something very sweet late in his career. 3rd and 24.
Just get out of a safety. Rolling right. Throws it. Then there's roughing the passer. Which they didn't call, which he can't believe. And he,
the biggest.
well, I'm sorry. Let me just watch this. You can watch the roughing the passer, but it doesn't matter at this point.
Hit at the end by Derek Wolf.
Wolf at the end
I think
throws
it's
it,
safe to say this is probably the biggest
rams him into the ground. Should have been roughing the
he
passer.
has taken in his career, and he's absolutely
Not the roughing the passer of yesteryear, but the new roughing the passer where if you just touch the quarterback, and he did it a little bit more than he had to.
Derek Wolf hitting.
In the old day, that would be called a tackle. Nowadays, that's called roughing the passer. Okay, 208. Now here's our last blunder of the, you want to call this the biggest blunder in Super Bowl. It's the stupidest move in Super Bowl history because unless he had in mind, unless Mr. Riverboat Ron had in mind that he would punt it up in the air and have one of his own team catch the ball, he's got to know that Denver is not going to catch the ball here. If he's going to punt now, he's got to know that Denver is not going to catch it and let it run down to, let's say, a minute 58, minute 59, minute 57. That'll be the 2-minute warning. And then Carolina, if you notice here, only has 2 timeouts. Then Denver will be able to run it 3 times and bring the clock down to under a minute, to a minute 10. By the time Carolina gets the ball, they can't win with that. The only way to punt it here is if you feel that you can get this punt completed before the 2-minute warning, which would mean punt it high up in the air about 30 yards and have your own team catch it. But I don't think he was relying on that. So it's ridiculous to punt. As Mike Francesa said so well, and with like, what in the world, even if it's 4th and 75, you go for it. 4th and 100, you go for it. The game is over if you punt it here. So you got to go for it. I don't care if it's 4th and 24. So why in the world punting is just giving up? And Francesa also pointed out, has he seen that there's been some big plays that have been some Hail Marys this year that have been completed? All right, pause. Okay, now I have 8 minutes. All analysis, the plays, the highlights are over. 8 minutes now to tell you again. Let's go through how I view Super Bowl 50. And what gets me steamed up is when I hear, what happened out there was defense wins championships. So Denver with the great defense beat Carolina with the great offense. With the offense that scored 30 a game. That's their analysis of the game. So I say to that, yes, great defense does stop great offense, but that is not why Denver won this game. That is a factor. That is obviously the big factor in the game, but that makes it sound like Denver should have won. That Denver was, it's just Carolina was the favorite because they were favoring the offensive team, but Denver, the great defensive team, they come through because defensive teams win, and Carolina shouldn't have been favorite, really. As a matter of fact, I have a 6-part series. What do I have? How many part series on defense? I agree defense wins championships. Of course, all astute fans know that defense wins championships. But I picked Carolina to win this game anywhere between 24 and 44 to Denver's 6-10, right? 6-10, maybe as little as 3-0. Why did I do that? Because what you're forgetting about Carolina's defense, and you're forgetting that they were playing against Peyton Manning. That was the part I was more sure of. Peyton Manning scoring only 6 offensive points, right? Peyton Manning with his weakened arm against this strong defense, that's not going to get much. So, and that's what happened. Three-point drive in the first quarter, and another 3 points he put up in the second half, the first drive of the second half. Fine. Very nice. Well done, Peyton Manning, for 6 points. Otherwise, he did nothing. He did nothing. As a matter of fact, it was a negative. They won despite him. He only put up 6 points. He threw one pick, a terrible pick. He got the ball knocked out of him. A little bit luck there. He got the ball knocked out. But again, it was 3rd and 15. What are you putting it up there? Make sure you don't. They're up 9. Make sure you don't fumble the ball there. He threw 4 balls that pickable. 2 of them should have been picked. 2 of them could have been picked. So he was terrible, and there was no reason to believe that Denver would have more than 6 points up on the board. Give him 10. You want to give him 10? Fine. Now, what didn't I know but that great defense of Denver was going to stop great offense of Cam Newton? So first of all, I don't look at Denver's defense as being that great. Excellent defense. But in this game, we have overthrows from Cam at the beginning. a couple overthrows in the middle. We have dropped balls from the receivers, 3 by Kotri, 1 that would have been a touchdown, should have been a touchdown, 1 that would have taken them out from their goal line to the 25, and then that Von Miller play would have never happened, right? So Kotri had 2 big drops, he had 3 altogether, 2 other ones by other receivers, 5 drops I counted altogether. We have the 7 to 8 pre-snap penalties, which you could say was caused by the suffocating defense. They wanted to get that quick jump to be able to block Denver. Okay, but 7 to 8 pre-snap penalties. So we have Carolina beating themselves as well. Again, I am not taking anything away. If you want to tell me that you should have expected Camp to have a couple of interceptions, fine. You want to tell me he was going to get sacked a lot? I told you Carolina does get sacked a lot because Camp tries to extend plays. But the sacks, and it has to be right near the end zone, resulting in 14 direct points, that's already a little bit lucky. That's a little bit lucky that they got again, it's also a bad job by Carolina. God, protect the ball near the end zone. The only thing that can hurt you in this game is pick sixes or fumbles that result in direct points. So 14 direct points off of turnovers killed them. That's what lost the game. So both teams had great defense. Defense wins championships. But it was the turnovers that Carolina did back on their own 1-yard line that killed them. They also got unlucky a few times. They got unlucky that the fumble by by Ward after he made the interception, he fumbles. And Ginn should have really been the guy that was there first. Denver got the ball. Okay, that's simple. They missed, after Kotri drops it for a touchdown, they miss a field goal. Okay, that was 3 more points. So again, I'm not saying Denver's defense is excellent, but I didn't expect that they were going to be dominant in this game. And they played a dominant game, combined with the fact they played a dominant defense in the rush, but also Carolina made a lot of mistakes. Again, I will also say Carolina could have ran the ball better. Again, I can't prove that with X's and O's so well, but I don't know. They should have been able to negate the rush just by the fact that Denver has to commit to stopping the run. They didn't run enough plays like that. They didn't run Cam around the outside enough. Even Mike Francesa said they didn't run Cam enough. They went off their run game too fast. Again, they are a cocky team. We're going to keep throwing it deep. Well, in this game, you can't be throwing deep if Denver keeps hitting you every time you hold the ball a few extra seconds, Cam. They should have changed the game plan at the half. What about just plain luck? We have other plain luck for Carolina going Denver's way. Missed penalties. Von Miller committed penalties on both of his big plays. When he smacked Cam across the helmet on the touchdown, he also batted the ball legally forward while the fumble was laying there on the last play of the game. So they missed that. They missed a interference on Ginn. By the way, the referees did get correct the 2 that everyone says they got wrong. The Kotri drop was a drop. The point of the ball was on the ground, and he may have lost secure holding possession of it. And because it's a maybe, and they ruled incomplete, you can't overturn it. And also, Talib was not offside. Talib was not offside on the field goal. I slowed that one down and showed you that. Talib, by the way, should have been another break that Stefan got. Talib should have been thrown out for his egregious, vicious, dangerous face mask. It wasn't a regular face mask. I'm not throwing a guy out for a face mask, but he took the guy, did a 360 and twirled him out and threw him and hurled him. That is dangerous. That should have been an ejection right there. They got a break on that one. Now, you might say, just the last point, you might say, well, Peyton Manning could not get, if he had been behind, he would have opened up the offense a little bit more and maybe would see more points from Peyton Manning. I say to that, if he would have had to have come from behind, I happen to believe that he would have thrown more picks. Happen to believe that would have got worse. Okay, but we'll never know that. We'll never know. Maybe you could claim the only reason he put up 6 points is because that's all he had to put up. He had the lead. He got the turnover for the touchdown from Von Miller, so he felt he didn't have to do much and therefore played it safe. Okay, fine. But overall, you could see why I would have thought this game should be at minute. I mean, if you want to give Cam Newton only 17 points, fine. 17-7, 17-6. Just make sure you don't get the big point ones against you. That's my view of Super Bowl 50. I see I'm running out of time. Although I do notice that they do let me go past 15 minutes on these things, but I'm going to stick at 15 minutes. Defense wins champ, yeah, but it was 14 points in turnovers that won it for Denver.